Hello, my name is Spencer and welcome back to my hobby channel. I like storytelling through dioramas. These are some old spiders I had lying around, and these are some green army soldiers to fight the spiders. These spiders were some of the first minis I ever painted, and I wanted to try and remake them with some of the new skills I've picked up. The first step is to remove the existing paint from the spiders. I did this by applying a mini safe paint remover. Once adequately covered, I used a toothbrush and carefully brushed the paint away. Not necessarily the cleanest I could get them, but it'll be good enough for today's project. Next, I primed all the minis. I changed plans a few times, so they all ended with a zenithal prime. For the base, I'll use some XPS scraps I had around. I dry fit all the minis onto the base to see how big the base would need to be. Then I very carefully marked where I needed to cut my foam on my hot wire table. However, when I cut it, I had much cleaner lines. I then glued the two pieces of foam together using super glue. I forgot to record this part, but once the glue had secured, I then cut the base with my hot wire cutter to make a slope. Then I made a terrain paste using plaster and Mod Podge. Usually I like the paste to be a little bit more liquidy and smooth than this, but I ran with it today. Then I applied the paste to the base and spread it around using my gloved hand. While the terrain dries, we can move to the minis. For painting the minis, I started with a strong base and built up the colors from there. This project's inspiration was a bit random. I really just wanted to try and remake some spiders and use some minis that I had lying around. The spider's color palette was based roughly off of a wolf spider, which includes browns and tans. The overall painting procedure was base, highlight, dry brush, edge highlight, apply a wash, and then touch up the places that were covered too much. The soldiers' color palettes were roughly based off of World War II soldier colors since I had them on hand. Oddly enough, this video sort of became a Lord of the Rings meets a World War II Vietnam diorama where a couple soldiers enter a dark, dense forest where giant spiders lie waiting for their prey. Moving back to the terrain, I zenithal primed that as I had the minis. Then I applied an earth undercoat to the whole of the terrain and made sure it was entirely covered. While the ground dried, I made some trees using a Woodland Scenics kit. This kit ironically challenged me more than the rest of the diorama. I cut the trees free from their sprues and cleaned the plastic lines and painted them a stronger wood color. I then bent all of the branches to create volume and applied glue to the branches to stick the leaves to. While the trees dried, I returned to the base. I covered it all with a glue and then I applied a green turf to all of it. For some color variety, I put some watered down glue on top of half of the turf and applied some contrasting grass color above it to only moderate success. Once our trees and base have dried, we can drill into the base and dry fit the trees to make sure they fit. Once sure, we can glue them into place. While the trees dry, I put some flowers and bushes on the base simply because they made me happy. Then we can pop the soldiers off of their bases and glue all of the minis to the diorama. Once everything is dried and secure, we can paint the sides of the diorama black and move to some glamour shots. I'd like to take this moment to say thank you to each of you who stayed through to the end of this video. I really do appreciate it, as this is just a snapshot of my imagination. I will be back soon with a new tale to share. I hope you all have a nice week, and I'll catch you in the next one.